Hello, everyone. I'm Colin Test of WrestleZone.com, joined by Matt Cardona, who's ready to rumble with Tyrus at NWA Nuff Said. And we're also here just ahead of the first ever live episode of NWA Powerrr on January 31st. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for this contract signing, and I'm ready to become a two-time NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Just to start off a little more generally here, been a while since we've caught up. You had a title match at NWA Hard Times 3 in November. You faced Tyrus and the former champion, or the champion at the time, Trevor Murdoch. Unfortunately, you were not able to get the win there. That match was kind of one of your first real big matches in the NWA since you came back from your injury. So, kind of reflecting on that match, what was that experience like, and how does that kind of shape your approach to this now singles match upcoming here with Tyrus?
It was an unfair predicament. I should have gotten a straight up one-on-one rematch. It was a triple threat for the title that I never lost, that I had to relinquish when I got injured. And I didn't get pinned to lose the title, and I didn't get pinned in that match. So I'm glad that Billy has come to his senses. And now one-on-one, myself versus Tyrus for the 10 pounds of gold. I know he is a dangerous opponent. I know he wants to keep that championship. I know he wants to continue to wear it over his shoulder on Fox News, but I need that title back. I need to represent the NWA, and the NWA needs me to win. It's the National Wrestling Alliance, not the National Talk Show Alliance. They need a champion like me to be wrestling all over the world. I mean, hell, I am the Independent Wrestler of the Year. You need me as your NWA champion, bringing this title, the 10 pounds of gold, all over the U.S., all over the world. And that's something I intend to do.
You brought it up, so I definitely want to talk about that for a minute. You were the Independent Wrestler of the year 2022. Definitely a very prestigious honor that spoke to you're wrestling over the place, winning titles over the place. An award that I definitely agree with myself. I'm biased, but what did that mean to you? I mean, was that validation, or did it give any motivation for the year ahead to kind of maybe to meet or raise that bar? Like, what was your kind of reaction, and how's that kind of influence you moving forward?
How can I say this? 2022 was without a doubt the best year of my career. I don't care how you define success. Do you define it by accolades? Do you define it by money? Do you define it by happiness? No matter how you define it, it was my most successful year of my career. And I think that means something. It shows that you can be a superstar outside the big companies. I am unsigned. And again, PWI, number 13 on the 500, unsigned, only unsigned talent in the top 20, then become an independent wrestler of the year. Listen, it's cool to have the awards. It's cool to be in the magazine, but I take this very seriously. This is my job. This is my life. So now, yes, 2022 was great. Career year. And let's not forget, I was injured for 3 months, and didn't miss a beat. But okay, how do I top that in 2023? So I'm up to the challenge, and I'll admit I'm a little nervous about it. How am I going to top that year? We'll find out, right? That's why I'm always ready.
I mean, one way to top it obviously would be, or at least to get to that road to topping it would be to recapture the NWA title here. And I guess just to step back for a minute, I mean, we're about a year past when you first showed up in the NWA. That was very end of 2021, I guess at that point, the tapings back then. So looking back on your time in NWA so far, what was that experience been like? We've talked before, if you want to quote unquote save the company, save the brand, make it relevant again in the very crowded wrestling world here in 2023 now. So what has your experience been like in the NWA? Have you considered it a success at this point? And I guess you just talked about your kind of goal for 2023 to maybe to raise that bar, but for NWA so far, maybe what are your kind of hopes for your time with your company moving forward?
I have loved my time in NWA. I said it from the moment I got there. I love the opportunity that I get there. Not just me, everybody. We get the formats for the show. Matt Cardona, you have a promo at the podium. Nobody tells me what to say. There's no script. I like that. And that's not just for me, that's for everybody. So I like that freedom. I like that, after the tapings, you get a weekly email reminder of the match graphics, the photos from the matches, everything you need to tweet about, because NWA, it wants to succeed. It wants to get bigger. And so do I. And I really want to sink my teeth into the NWA because I want it to be bigger. Some of the people there, and I'm sure I'll get some heat for saying this, they love just coming a couple times a year, getting to post. I was on NWA Powerrr this week. and then they don't do jack shit the rest of the time. I want NWA to be, how we're doing that live show. I want to do it live every week. I want to wrestle every week for the NWA, not just 5 or 6 times a year and film things in the can. I want to take NWA to the next level. It's the National Wrestling Alliance, not the National Talk Show Alliance. Tyrus is great face of the company, I guess, right? He brings the title on Fox News. Hey, I can't do that, but I can bring it all over the world wrestling. I can wrestle all over the world with it. I can show it off. I can post about it on social media. I can have it, everywhere I go. So I really want to help the NWA grow, but I'm not going to lie, selfishly, to make 2023 the best year of my career.
You brought it up, so I definitely want to talk about that for a second. I mean, having a live episode of Powerrr for the NWA definitely kind of a milestone here. It's the first episode, the live episode of Powerrr here, January 31st, Knoxville Convention Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. You at Tyrus going to sign a contract for the match. Definitely going to be one of the more buzzworthy segments on that show. But just in general, you just said you would like to wrestle for the NWA every week. At least starting off with the one, what do you think kind of having a live show for the NWA? How's that beneficial? What could that do for the company, even if it's just the one, or in theory, if it's going to live every week?
I think it's a great first step, right? I also like how they're going back to YouTube every week. Let as many people watch this for free as possible, get as many eyes on the product as possible, and then when it's time for a pay-per-view, then they'll shell out their money. You know what I'm saying? You want as many eyes on this product as possible. There's a lot of great talent there. There's a lot of great things going on in the NWA. But if it's behind a paywall to even see it, who's really going to take that chance? So I'm glad that it's back on YouTube, and the live Powerrr is definitely going to be a great way to kick that off. I don't want to say a new partnership because they've been with YouTube for a while, but now they're back as they're Tuesdays. It's going to be on YouTube, and I'm glad that everyone is going to start knowing that and know where they can find NWA and watch it for free.
We're talking about the YouTube and fight and other things that kind of maybe help the company grow. Obviously, you're very much known for loving wrestling action figures, being a collector, all of that stuff. You have a very successful podcast. What would you want to maybe see the NWA do on that side of things? We haven't really seen the NWA tap into that so much. Would it be more the action figure route, or would it be any number of other things? Like, just what are your kind of thoughts on potentially seeing the NWA lean more in that direction for growth and for the brand?
Yeah, I would love to see action figures for NWA. There's definitely potential for that, and there's so many small toy companies popping up that could make NWA figures. I mean, listen, let's be honest. There's not going to be NWA figures in Walmart or Target this year. Maybe soon, hopefully, eventually. But right now, there's so many smaller companies who can make them available to the collector. Right? Tyrus. As much as I hate to say this, we got him in our Major Bendy's line. He was the #1 selling Major Bendy of all time. He talked about it on Fox News, and it was cha-ching, 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 that my alerts on my phone were just going off. So there's definitely a fan base, and there's definitely a market for these figures. We just need someone to make them. So I don't know who's heading the merchandise department of the NWA, but I'll take the job. I want more money, though. I'm not doing it for free, pal.
You're obviously more than qualified, and I think that'd be a great way to have the NWA expand the brand a little bit. We'll see if it happens, but we talked about kind of your past in the NWA so far. Obviously, we're going to be focusing more on this title match with Tyrus, but kind of maybe outside of that, what are some of your goals with the NWA itself here as we move forward? I think you're going to hope to do, people you want to face. Is there anything kind of to that effect?
Listen, I'm never somebody who has like a list of opponents, right? Like that doesn't really do it for me. So I just don't care. I think about the bigger picture, right? I think about the fact that, hey, how can we get NWA to not just film 5 or 6 times a year and tape a bunch of things in the can? How can we maybe twice a month and then once a week? How can we build towards that? The bigger picture. That is, I think, the bigger picture, how we can grow the NWA. And of course, selfishly, with me a part of it as the face of the company.
I mean, to maybe hone in on that, what are some of the things that you really think could help take NWA to the next level? We've already talked about going to weekly TV potentially, but and you mentioned the benefit of having going back to YouTube, having more eyes on the product. Anything kind of outside of those, because those obviously are very important things. But aside from that, how can the NWA maybe reach the next level, even if it's taking baby steps, just to kind of grow and to keep making progress?
I think the YouTube move is a great move, and like I said, they do a great job promoting their shows. Every week you get like an email with all the match graphics, the links to the social media. It's like there's a plan in place, right? So I think, it's like, I feel like my career in NWA, it's very similar. There's been some highs, there's been some lows, and well documented for the highs and the lows, right? For both of us. But I think we're both on the rise, and I think it's perfect that we're going to rise together. And it'd be even more perfect if I'm the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
And just to talk about it again, you will be facing Tyrus, or you signed the contract, you'll be challenging Tyrus to the title, NWA Nuff Said on February 11th. What's kind of your approach to that match? We talked about how Tyrus didn't beat you, but maybe as you kind of are now getting ready to have the singles match with them, I believe it's a pretty fresh match for you, or at least, somebody you haven't faced in a long while, and in a singles match like that, you're kind of approaching it in that sense, because this will be the main event of a pretty big show.
I don't take Tyrus lightly. He's the champion for a reason, right? He's earned that opportunity, and he took advantage of the opportunity when he had the shot at the title against me and Trevor. And he's got his cronies, he's got his whole group. I got the Cardona family. I don't know what the rules are going to be. I don't know if people are going to be barred from ringside or what. But Tyrus, he's a great representative of the NWA. But I need this title not just for the NWA, for myself. And like I said, I really got to top 2022, and the perfect way to start that is to become a two-time champion.
Well, hopefully we're going to see that at NWA Nuff Said on February 11th here. We're keeping it very NWA-centric, obviously, but we are just a couple days removed from Impact Hard to Kill, where you and Brian Myers challenged for the Impact Tag Team titles in a four-way match. It was a very, very hard-fought match, but unfortunately, despite your valiant efforts, that we're not able to walk away with the win. But nonetheless, sharing the ring with the Motor Machine Guns, Ace and Bay, and Heath and Rhino, some of the top tag teams in Impact. What was that experience like? And potentially, would you want to continue your pursuit of the tag team titles there in Impact Wrestling?
That was a fun match to be a part of. The tag team wrestling, I think right now is the best it's ever been. So many great teams all around the world. But I'll be honest, I'm not a tag team wrestler. Do I occasionally team with Brian Myers? Yes, and that's what's great. We start in this business as a team, and we come together every once in a while as major players. And unfortunately, we didn't end up as the tag team champions. But I think for now, not that the major players are over, but I think it's best that we go our separate ways and try to go for singles gold, because neither of us got into the business to be tag team wrestlers. And when we got released from WWE, we were released as a team. And we didn't even have to tell each other, hey, we're doing our own thing now. Once it was time to do our own thing, it was not going to be Cardona and Myers together. It was going to be Cardona and Myers separately. But the best thing about it is that we can come together when we need to.
So it sounds like we won't be seeing necessarily the major players team up in NWA anytime soon, but you have been featured with the Cardona family. You've had VSK in the past. You've had Mike Knox, Chelsea Green, of course. We've seen, some changes there, obviously, but any potential thoughts on maybe expanding the Cardona family because of those changes, or are you really kind of focusing more on the singles route and kind of leaning away from that approach, maybe?
Right now, my focus is on me, and that's selfish, sure, but that's the truth, right? I just want my championship. I want that NWA title back around my waist. I want to carry it in my bag, go to all these towns, make these towns, wrestle these new opponents, and represent the NWA. Listen, the Cardona family is great. VSK is awesome. Mike Knox, awesome. Brian Myers, Chelsea, all awesome. But 2023 is going to be about me.
2023 will be about this year, as was the end of the last year, but you're still coming back from that injury, and you're still kind of reestablishing that run that put you on the path toward becoming the Independent Wrestler of the Year. How have things maybe changed in a number of ways, whether it's your in-ring style, your approach to training, whatever it might be, since your injury, because obviously you're out for a couple of months? How did that kind of change your general, just your career at this stage, and how's it impacted your comeback?
Fortunately, I've had no problems with my arm. I came back. A lot of people might have thought it was too early. The doctors told me 6 months. I came back in less than 3. So definitely for the first couple of weeks, I was a little hesitant, of what I was doing in the ring, and very, very careful. But now when I go out there, I don't even think about it, which is a good thing. And luckily, like when I'm in the gym, doesn't affect me. So I'm way over the injury, and it's not something that is on my mind, and I don't have to deal with the mental issues about it, because that could, when you hesitate, you could lose a match, you can get injured. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that, and I am fully focused on making this the best year of my career.
Very glad to hear that, and you'll be fully focused on trying to hopefully recapture the NWA title at NWA Nuff Said on February 11th. One more time here, you'll be challenging Tyrus. One last message for Tyrus and for the fans: why they should tune in to see you face Tyrus at NWA Nuff Said.
They need to tune into this because they are going to witness history. They're either going to witness Matt Cardona win the championship again, the championship I never lost, and take the NWA to new heights, or they're going to see Tyrus win and then the NWA is going to scramble. Because if not me, who? And if not now, when? The NWA, it wants to get to that next level. Give me the goddamn ball.
There you have it. And lastly, here you also continue to wrestle all over the country. Of course, you were announced for a couple of GCW shows. The one that I just saw a minute ago was going to be wrestling in Toronto for GCW. So, any of those shows you're particularly looking forward to, or even just to plug them here, because a couple of those are in March, so those are still a little bit away.
There's a GCW show coming up in Los Angeles, which I absolutely hate going to because there's no locker room. The locker room is an alley. I hate wrestling there. I hate the fans there. I am excited. There's going to be a New York City show. Listen, I love the Big Apple. I'm a New York boy, Long Island IC, right? So I'm excited to go there. But then 2 days later, we go to Toronto, and I hate Canada. It's cold. There's not good food. The travel sucks. Shitty airlines. I'm not looking forward to Toronto, but I'm going to use all that anger and frustration and take it out on my opponent, whoever it's going to be.
And the opponent is going to be Tyrus, and then we're going to see you face him for the NWA title at NWA Nuff Said, February 11th in Tampa, Florida. Very much looking forward to that. You can check it out on Fight, and of course, NWA Powerrr. We'll be back on YouTube, especially starting on January 31st for the live of the Powerrr, where Cardona is going to be signing the contract for that title match with Tyrus. Matt, I thank you so much for your time today. I wish you the best with NWA, Nuff Said, and everything moving forward.
And hopefully the next time we're chatting, I got the 10 pounds of gold over my shoulder. We got a replica back here. Maybe we'll get the real one next time.
I very much hope so. Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you.